beautiful collectors and action figure fans. It's the one and only Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Masterpiece movie series, MPM-10 STARSCREAM. For the package, absolutely gorgeous image of Starscream in his robot as well as his vehicle mode, which the F-22 Raptor is possibly one of the coolest planes that have ever existed. Let's just be honest. You got the Transformers text, Takara Tomy, all that fun stuff there. You come around to the top, it says Transformers Masterpiece Movie Series. This side here has an image of a jet with a whole bunch of junk on the bottom. Let's face it, he's a jet. We know what the bottom of these things are going to look like. Come around to the other side, you got kind of up-close images of his ugly face, as well as an up-close image of the cockpit. I don't know why you need to zoom in on that, but hey, why not? Bottom here has top and bottom, and you got side, and you can see, yeah, all sorts of robot junk right there. Come around to the back of the box, and you can see that he's got a movable mouth, because Starscream's lippy. He's got flip-up thrusters. He's got a missile arm attachment, a saw attachment, and articulated hands. And you can see that it is an official product of Lockheed Martin. So there you go. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. Fairly large. I mean, the toy's going to be a pretty big one. But without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the new movie Masterpiece Starscream open up and out of its packaging. And this is definitely a mixed bag for me. I'm honestly trying to think of the words to say. Now, jet mode here looks good. I've always loved the F-22 Raptor design. And for the most part, they did a good job of recreating it. Now, granted, you come around here to the bottom, and all you see is just robot junk. It doesn't really blend in all that well. I mean, I guess it kind of does, but when you look at the smoothness of the top, and then you look at the bottom, it just gets bad. Now, obviously, I have his weapons attached. We're going to remove these. One thing that I don't like about these is when you pull these, it tends to pull this whole contraption apart. So it tabs in there, and then it loosens that. These have to be put in this configuration. As you can see, this post is on an angle. The slot for it is also on an angle. So to have it straight, you have to put the blade weapon on this side and his missile launcher on this side. You can't do it the other way around. So if you did that, you would end up with it out like that. I guess, let me see. God bless it. So maybe, yeah, and you can't even really angle it towards the back. I mean, you can't do it there. That's going to put it out on... so you have to put it there. There's no real way to do it. But you do have weapon storage for him. He also does come with his Gatling gun, which that looks pretty good underneath there. That I don't mind. But those ones attached underneath are just god-awful. You also have another slot right here that you can put that there if you want to have a little bit more forward-facing. So there's that. Taking a look at his weapons first, like I said, he does have the Gatling gun. It is just done in this white sort of plastic. It looks good. It does have a rotating Gatling, or Gatling part, whatever you call it. I like that. That's kind of cool. He also does come with his missile launcher. We saw this in the first movie, I believe. You can attach it to his arm. I'll show how to do that here in a bit. None of the missiles remove or anything. It can rotate, so you can spin that around if you really want to. Personal preference. This is all a softer material. It is what it is. It's not really warped terribly on mine. I do like the plastic that they used here. It has a sort of marbling sort of effect, which does give it a nice kind of shimmer, almost like it is metal, but it is just molded in this plastic color. It's not bad. I do like it. I wish there was a little bit more detail on here, maybe like a little wash or something. His saw weapon, this we saw in Revenge of the Fallen. I mean, he used both of these later on, but I think the first time we saw the blade was in Revenge of the Fallen when he sliced Sam's getaway vehicle. Basically the same kind of thing here. You can see The back section here is pretty much the same when you look at it, just mirror opposites of one another. But you have this. This doesn't rotate, but the paint detail on the blade's really nice. You can see that there's a slightly darker paint on it, so that when you spin it, I don't know how well that's coming across, but when you spin it, you can kind of see that there's a really cool sort of look. And let's see if I can get it going really fast and make it look like it's going backwards. No, I'm not that good. But again, same kind of plastic with this as well. It is what it is with the weapons. Now, when you take it off, from the top, he doesn't look all that bad. I like the paint detail. I prefer this over how he looked in the subsequent movies with all the different Cybertronian tattoos. I was never a big fan of that because they're supposed to be in disguise, and I feel like all those Cybertronian tattoos kind of gave it away. He's not going to be able to hang out in a military base in disguise with all those markings on him. So that was like a design choice that I didn't care too much for, but the overall look is still really nice. I like how they got the cockpit in here. You got a seated area and everything. Different colors look really good. The different gray sections, again, kind of when it's flying and the satellite's looking down. This is kind of a stealth vehicle. When the satellite looks down, it kind of blends in with the background, and I did pick this purposely because people said that would probably look good for a desert vehicle. Well, this isn't really a desert vehicle, but it's got that army kind of camo thing going for it. But you know, when you look at it, like, you can see these pieces hanging out here. You got these pieces, which I don't mind that much because it kind of looks like guns. Just the side though, it's not. I'm not a huge fan of how this all looks. I feel like for a masterpiece figure, it should have cleaned up a little bit better. I mean, I understand. I mean, these are his legs and everything. I mean, I get it. It's probably a real hard thing to try and hide all that. But when you bring in the Studio Series one, from the top, look how clean that looks by comparison to this. You know, you don't see anything on the underbody, whereas you can see all those parts hanging out there. Even when you look at it from the side, I mean, these are landing gears, so we can tuck these up. I just feel like it cleans up a little bit better than the movie Masterpiece one. I mean, it's not that. I feel bad criticizing it because there's really not much that you can do to hide all of that. But I feel like they did a better job with this one, and this one was $30. This is $150. So I feel like, I don't know, it's a lot of junk right down there that, I don't know. I mean, the wings are pretty clean on both versions. Obviously, they both have little bits right here. I guess, like, with this, it's a little bit more spread out across the whole bottom of it than this guy is, where you have the empty section here in the back. But, I mean, that does make something for you to hold on to while you're swooshing it around. I don't know. I like it a little bit better. I like the top paint here a little bit more. I like how they got the Air Force logos there. He's got an Air Force logo here, but he's got a Decepticon logo here. And it still has a lot of those same kind of paint applications, but I don't know. I do like the more camo nature of the new guy. It's just, again, when you look at it like this, I don't know. I just constantly keep looking at these bits that are just kind of there. So I don't know. It is what it is. He does have landing gear. You can see one right here, and then you got two that are attached to his legs. He does roll very well, honestly. That's really nice to see. We're going to tuck these up for the transformation anyhow, which transformation on this guy is another thing that's really kind of a pain in the butt. But overall, nice. I do like it. I just feel at the price point that it is, it could be the smidge better. Now, I talk about this quite often, that a lot of times when it comes to Transformers, there's one transformation that is easier than the other and one that is more difficult than the other. Going to the robot mode is fairly easy. There's a lot of floppiness to them, but it's not terrible. You know what I just kind of noticed? That right there kind of looks like a Decepticon logo, doesn't it? That's kind of funny. So first what we're going to want to do is come around here to these little side panels. Pull these up, just like that, on both sides. They tab down there very securely. Then you can kind of grab hold of this back section and do a little bit of wiggling. Kind of pull that wing away. And you're going to separate this piece just like that. Then come around here to the underside. Right up here, this whole assembly like tabs in. It's a little bit tricky, keep it down, but you can kind of see right in here is where the locking mechanism is. It's a little bit easier just to kind of like pull from the side. That will loosen up these little tabs from that section. And then you can take this and rotate this down like that. Come around to the other side here. We're going to work on the legs here. So I'm just going to kind of lift some of this stuff, kind of get this out of the way. Well, let's see. This piece right here, you're going to detach, and this just kind of swivel this out. A lot of this stuff just kind of like folds inside there. Now, this is where I was talking about things get a little bit floppy. A lot of it is just because things are going to dangle off to the side. So I'm going to just move that out of the way for right now. Come around here to these legs. Take this. We're going to, well, let's see. Bring these out and like that. Then rotate these all the way around. This is going to be the crotch piece for them. So you need these legs to be positioned here in the front. This piece right here does get a little bit tricky. Pull this all the way back. Keep this. That might tab underneath there like that. Pull that back like that. Just kind of straighten that. Then you can angle this forward like that. You can rotate this around. We're going to angle this piece. You're creating this crazy leg thing here. Just kind of angle that like that. The feet get a little bit tricky right here. You want to just extend that all the way out like so. Come around here to this middle section. This is going to lift up, and then rotate this around, and then you'll collapse all this back up in, and then you'll feel it lock into place inside there. Let's get that all the way in. There we go. So I feel like that's not, there we go. Then we're going to angle this. So there you basically have one of his legs done. Come around to the other side. Again, we're going to extend this out, fold this forward, lock that down. And then again, we're going to fiddle with these legs here in a bit just to kind of get them looking the way they need to. So again, take this, separate this, and then pull this entire assembly out. Fold out this middle portion, which allows you to rotate that all the way around. Now, one thing that you'll notice is this is where you find the die cast in the figure. It's mostly his feet. I haven't found it really anywhere else, but it's right there. So fold that in and then collapse that down. And I had that reversed. So rotate that all the way around. And here's his legs pretty much. Again, we'll fiddle with the positioning and everything and get the chicken leg look going here in a bit, but that's basically what you're going to want. Come around here. Let's take this. Let's get this up and out of the way. Pull this up and out of the way. Come around here to the underside. You can take these, fold these little pieces out, just extending that, and then fold the smaller section in. This whole bit right here is going to come out. So again, just kind of pull that away. This part right here is all going to accordion down. You got little tabs here and here that are going to lock on the back of this section. So bring that all the way down and then slot that in just like so. Again, we're just going to play with these legs. Be careful of this piece here. Just kind of getting everything out of the way for it. Take this middle section, fold this down, and then you can take this, rotate this all the way down, just like that. And then you can push that in, that'll lock it into place. Then you can bring this back up like so. Well, no, don't do that just yet, I'm sorry. First, and then you want to take this, fold this down, then this entire section here lifts up and will come down there. This will come up and come down there as well. This bit right here you want to kind of dislodge this and then hinge it up, because you're going to have to bring this back up. If you just leave it like that, you won't have the clearance to get past there. So kind of hinge that all the way up so you can bring that up, then bring that over, and then just position the head right there. Then you can take this, bring that up. All right, now we're going to come around here to the back section here. There's a lot of junk. We're going to fold this all the way around and get these little pieces here and here. Now this whole thing we're going to accordion up, and then that will lock. Well, no, I'm sorry. Make sure you take this, pull this down. That creates a little slot that this giant piece is going to go into. So you just put that right in there like that. You can play with these how you want. Take this section, fold this down, then just kind of angle those right back there. And then we're going to play with those wings later on just to position everything properly. Then you can take these pieces, fold these around, and they lock in along the side, locking in the backpack kind of in place. So do that there and there. All right, now we're going to come to his arms, and these are a little bit problematic. This is the most difficult part of the transformation, I feel. So what we need to do is you have these little pieces that are probably dangling all over and all that fun stuff. And now these are going to come around. And oh, did I forgot something. So you got little pieces here on the side. Hold on, let me pull this out. And then these little pieces here, they're gonna see, this is gonna come up and lock in here. So bring this up. Sorry, I forgot about this part. So bring this up and then fold these little pieces here on the side of the jet mode. Fold that out. There we go. Sorry about that. Bring that back down. And those are going to tuck underneath there. Just like that. All right. So now we got those little pieces. This is going to swivel around. And then again, you got these little diagonal slot pieces right there that you bring these around, and they're going to lock in on the side. Then everything else is going to kind of come up here. But this is where you kind of need this. So again, you're going to angle this down. Sorry, forgot. You got a little hinge section here. Rotate that down. And then these are going to lock in right there on that section. So everything is swiveled down here. Now we're going to try and get these situated where you can kind of see what I'm doing. So if I can get them to stand, that might be a little bit easier. So let's make sure that this is all the way collapsed in. And bring that all in like that. See if I can get them to stand there where I can show you this. So now we're going to want to take these arms, stretch these out. They were probably tucked up underneath here. Well, this bit is. So this piece right here, it's a little bit tricky because it slides in there. There we go. So pull this piece out like that. This part here, I'm not a big fan of. This is a lot of flipping around. Take this piece right here. We're going to hinge this. There's a lot of like just random flipping around with this. So let's see. Pull that out. This little piece here, you're going to rotate this around towards the back. Kind of just sits there. And then this piece. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's, make sure you get this. And then you got this little piece right here that you need to fold out. This, then, you have to rotate this all around till you get it to the point where this is going to come across and create a chest piece, and this little mushroom piece slides down this side bit right there and locks it into place. So that's what you kind of want to do. You want to get it oriented like this. This probably is going to pop out several times, so keep that pushed in. Just keep that wing in the back, and then you just slide this right down there. And that's it. It's just literally a matter of flipping everything around to get it in the right configuration, which can be problematic. Now you're going to take this, you're going to collapse this all up, creating his arm, fold this down, you got his hand. Rotate this around, and then fold these bits out. Now let's try doing that again here. So that's a little bit more cohesive looking for you to watch. And this, for some reason, does not want to stay in there all that easily right now. Do I have... Oh, I didn't have that locked in. So you have this little nub right here. Make sure you push that in and lock that right there. I didn't do that right. So you got that little nub. Fold it forward. That will lock that in to the back of this little thing. All right, so there we go. So now he stands a lot better. Okay, so let's give this a try here. So I'm going to take this piece. This is going to slide out. Take this. We're going to rotate this all the way around so it's going to be in the back. And then this piece, again, kind of flips around. Open this. This is going to do a lot of rotation and flipping and all that kind of stuff. There we go. Something like that. There we are. Perfect. That was a little bit easier. So just kind of rotate it around. Keep this section here locked in as best as you can. And then this is going to slide down. Oh, wait. Do I not have it lined up right? Wait, I don't think I do. Wait, there we go. Okay, so there we are. So now you're going to slide it down this little cavity. Just sits right there. And that's what locks it into place. You got little springy bits here that pop out, which are actually kind of cool. Going to get him to stand. Rotate this down. You can take this little piece right here. You can angle that back. You can do that on that side as well. This whole thing is going to accordion up and in. Fold out his hand. Rotate that. Kind of fiddle with his fingers. There we go. Now, I mean, the legs are already pretty much done like I wanted them to be. So, there we go. And make sure you lock that in. There we go. All right. So, that piece, you got a little tab underneath here that locks in the front of his knee. So, push that in there. There we go. Fiddle with that. Bend his knees a little bit. Again, you want to give him that chicken-legged look. There we are. There we are. That came out. So angle his ankles a little bit. Bend that around. Let me see. Then you can just kind of like play with these wings a little bit. Kind of angle these however really you want to. There's a couple different hinges on here, so you can kind of angle that really however you want to do it. It's a matter of personal preference. I think that looks pretty good like that. Got that. You got the little wings here in the back. These ones I like kind of breaking up a little bit. You have that separate bit right there. You can flare that out and then kind of angle that. Gives a little bit more of an angle-ish sort of look right there. But that's it. There we go. There you have the movie masterpiece Starscream. Let's see, get that. In his easily most accurate looking robot mode that we've ever gotten for a movie Starscream. And I am absolutely blown away by how good this figure looks. Now, that is not to say that there's not a couple nagging issues that I do have with it, but this guy is phenomenal. As you can see, for his weapon, in terms of attaching it, it's a little bit tricky here. So you got a couple different little tab points. First, what you need to do is you have his hand. I like taking the thumbs and just bringing those all the way back like that. And then bend here, not at the actual wrist, but more at the secondary wrist, I guess. When you bend that around, you can kind of flex the fingers along the inside there, just kind of like that. But you have this little slot right here. That slot is what this post is going to tab into. But then there's another piece. Let's get this situated a little bit better. Then there's another slot right there. So first you're going to bring that in, lock that in, and then fold that down, and that locks that in very securely to his arm. That's wonderful. I think that's great. Now, you come around to the other side, and you got that same sort of thing here that you can use his missile launcher for. Again, we're just going to tuck the hand back all the way, creating that little gap. We're going to take this. We're going to plug this in right there. Maybe I'm doing it on a weird angle, so I can't see what I'm doing very well. And then you lock that upper tab in right there. So now you have the missile and you have the blade weapon. Both very much recognizable as his weapons. I think they did a terrific job with it. It does get a little bit tricky getting these out. They tab in very securely here. It's almost easier to kind of pull from the back and then kind of separate there. So it's a little bit easier for you to kind of pull here and then wiggle that out just like that. Now, his other weapon plugs in the exact same way as the other ones do, but you don't really need to fold his hands around. They're just going to, well, I wonder if you can tab that in. No, you can't tab that really in there. So you just put that in that same post, and now he's got his little arm Gatling gun, which, again, absolutely terrific, wonderful attention to detail all the way around this. I mean, it is spectacular how good this looks. I mean, I've had a number of Starscreams over the years. I mean, I've had the original Leader Class one. I've pretty much had them all, guys. Now, honestly, for me, the Studio Series is still what I think is the best overall figure. And I say that because I take a look at things from a couple different perspectives as a reviewer. Number one, I still think it does a great job of recreating the look of them. This one does have a slightly better overall aesthetic, but it still is nicely replicated by a much smaller and cheaper figure. So for me, I definitely give the movie masterpiece the edge in terms of the overall look, in terms of the robot mode. This one is a little bit more lacking, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I do think that this one does a little bit better job in the vehicle mode. And then transformation, this one I can almost guarantee you in a year I'm going to forget how to transform this. This guy, I had no problem transforming him for this review. This one I'm going to definitely need a refresher for. So it's not that transformation is hard. It is definitely fiddly, like you could see. But in my opinion, the more fun figure is still this guy. Looking at this, though, I think that the silver color here for him does look really nice. This really pops. It's very subtle, the paint applications. But again, does give a more movie-accurate look. Now, for his overall design and everything, it is this crazy chicken leg sort of looking beast. People complain all the time. It's Michael Bay. It is what it is. And that's the way that it's always going to be. So if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you're not going to like it. So, again, it is what it is. But I think, in general, everything cleans up very, very nicely. I love the way that these wings kind of can be moved around really to give some extra dynamic look to them. I mean, they can articulate back, they can flare forward and all that kind of stuff. You got these extra little bits right here, which give a slightly different angular sort of look. You got these ones here in the back. I love that his thrusters are here. That's cool. I mean, if you wanted to, you can also store his weapons, I guess. I mean, you can put that off to the side. Guess you got some slots and tabs and everything all throughout here, so you could do that. I honestly don't even know where you're supposed to store these. Oh, well, you got like little tabs right here. I guess you could. I don't know. I didn't pay that close of attention to the instructions because I thought that they sucked. So, but there's tabs in different places, so you can lock things in if you so desire. I don't know. Whatever. Do what you want. I love that they got his thrusters on here. I mean, that's fun in case you want to have like cool flying battles. In general, like I said, I love what they did to really bring that movie aesthetic to the toy. Great detail here all the way around. Coming in to take a closer look first at his head. If I can get this camera thing. Again, I don't like using too much of the zooming on my iPhone because then I feel like it starts losing some of the detail. So I'll try to fix this up in post-production so that you can see it. But great detail in the head sculpt. I do love the articulation with it. I think that they did a really good job. You got a swivel right here, and then you have a really nice hinge that allows you to really get it pretty much in any kind of pose that you want. Now, you can't really go side to side much, but that doesn't bother me all that much. I love the fact that he's got the opening mouth gimmick. All these movie masterpiece figures do. But great detail. Like when you look on the side, you can see some extra detail thrown in there with like gold paint, some real nice dark gunmetal gray. Really very cool. That gold color goes throughout the entire body. Some nice dark elements here throughout the chest. The whole chest does look great. When you finally get everything kind of situated, it actually comes together really nicely. You take a look at this. Oh, this is metal as well. So, and you can kind of see that too. A nice brush on there. So the feet are die cast and these little shoulder bits are also die cast. If I find more as I go through the video, I'll let you know. But again, oh wait, is this die cast here? This might be, no, that's just painted plastic. That does a really good job of matching that. That looks great. Nice internal detail right there. Again, you got the crotch area. The legs look really good. You got that dry brushing on there with some nice color gradient, which does look fantastic. Obviously, he's got that movie chicken leg look, which people hate. I'm aware people hate it, but it doesn't bother me really all that much. I mean, this is a unique sort of thing. I'm able to separate I'm able to separate. That's one of the issues. You do have to really balance these legs to get him to stand, because otherwise he's going to fall back, just because he is kind of top heavy for the most part. But these legs, and that's part of the thing. So if this comes dislodged, make sure that you give that a good push to lock that back in. So make sure both of those are in there. Usually when that happens, that helps to stabilize them, as you can see. So just make sure that everything is tabbed in securely with the overall figure, because that should be a solid locked in piece. First articulation, very well articulated for the most part. This is where I said that it's a great figure, but has a couple things that I don't like. So all these wings and everything, they're all articulated, which I think is amazing. I love it. You can get it as high as you want or as low as you want. I love that Dorito shape that you can create. The head, as I talked about, really nice painted detail, and then all that articulation is also in there as well. The shoulders here, now you do have, based on the way that he transforms, you do kind of have, and you can move these back ones around as well. They are a little bit floppy. FC was asking about this. FC's a follower of mine on Twitter. This one is definitely floppy, but you don't really notice it because it's there in the back, so it doesn't really matter. This one is floppy too, but I don't think it's meant to be super tight on it, so it is what it is. But the way that everything is designed and locks into place here, and then you can, that slid out a little bit. Let me push that right back down there. So you got a little bit of play right here. So you have a sort of butterfly joint going, but it doesn't really give you much range of motion coming in, and you can, I mean, as this moves, you can kind of push it back even further. So I like that you have that. Doesn't really dislodge too much, because a lot of the rotation comes from, you can see like this little piece right here, and then up in here is another little rotation or hinge section. So it feels like it's meant to do that, just to give it some flair. The problem, though, is when you come to the shoulders, you have a fairly decent ratchet joint going up and down, in and out. The problem that I have, though, is it doesn't rotate up here. So you can't, I always feel myself wanting to rotate this to get his arms to come in. Now, you have a hinge down here on a ratchet joint for his elbow, and this section rotates. But you can't really bring the arm into the body. And I want to be able to do that, which sucks. Now, you can dislodge this. And I don't think it's all that bad in some instances, but you can dislodge it. And depending on how extreme, this keeps sliding out. Why are you sliding out so much? You never did that before, but of course I'm doing a video review, so you're going to want to know. Now, you can, like I said, dislodge this, and you can bring it in. When you keep it like that, I don't think it looks all that bad. And this joint down here seems pretty good that it holds it. So I don't know if that's meant to be an articulation joint, but I feel like that's sufficiently covered that you can bring it in like so, which I think, oh wow, I should have did that for the thumbnail. That's pretty cool. So it's personal preference, but like I said, that it feels like it holds fairly solidly there. Same thing with this side. You can bring this in, and again, basically keep everything. Let's pull that. Come on, that one's really stiff. So there you can see, you can kind of bring his arms in. Depending on how far you go with that, like I said, I mean, it kind of starts making some gaps and stuff there. If you leave it kind of like that, I mean, it's, I don't think it really looks all that bad. So, I don't know if that's intended or what, but it holds fairly well. So you do have the hinge, you have the rotation. The wrists here, they do move forward and back. They also rotate. The fingers, the thumbs can rotate forward and back, and then they have another hinge here. So you got two different hinges, that way and that way. The fingers are only articulated at that base knuckle. You have that extra wrist. I don't know, you got like two wrists on there, but then you got all the individual fingers. Nothing at the waist. That's a common problem with Starscream figures. Most of the time, I can't think of really one that had a waist rotation. So that's a definite common problem that limits his articulation, but not that much, if you ask me. You can still get him really in some cool dynamic poses. The waists here are on fairly nice ratchet joints, both in and out. You can rotate at the upper part of the thigh, and then you got the crazy ass knee joint thing here. This kind of locks in, so you're always going to have it kind of going forward like that. So you got the knee joint right there, and then you have this back one. I like how they have the little piston that comes out. That's really cool as well. So those are pretty much the same. The ankles do move forward and back a little bit, but you don't want to do too much with it because it will dislodge things. Most of the time, like I said, it is meant to go up and lock into place there. So you are kind of limited with that, but it does have a nice tilt, and then the toes can also be articulated there in the back. The front ones are locked in because that is a solid metal construction. But in general, you're not going to really want to do a lot of crazy ankle sort of poses because that will disrupt the overall balance of the figure. All in all, I think he is absolutely terrific. Almost to the point where I don't know if I want to give this guy away, because guess what? If you're watching this video, I'm going to give you some details on how you can win this exact figure. Just stay tuned to the end of my review. Now, as I always say, there's one way to transform him that's usually harder than the other, and that's getting this guy into vehicle mode. It's a giant pain. Let's just totally be honest. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to straighten out these arms, straighten out all this stuff here, straighten out his head, making it a little bit easier. I'm going to take these wings, fold that out, fold this down. Just some little minor things, kind of keep things going easily. Come around here to the back, take this piece, fold that up like that. Now, get that right back there. Come around here. We're going to disassemble his chest. No, disassemble. Yes, disassemble. So pull this piece out, which now it's going to be a pain in the butt. It came out. There we go. I was going to be like, hey. You came out easily the whole time. Come out easily now. And now we're going to move this piece out just like that. That'll kind of rotate out of the way. And then straighten these arms out. So you want to have that like that. And then this, you want to collapse that down there. And this whole thing is going to slide down. Let me get this oriented properly. This is going to fit into a little cavity. So get that all the way angled up. It's a pain in the butt. So again, get that. Let's see, is that all the way? There we go. And then pull this whole assembly out. You have a cavity right here. Kind of have to make sure you push this piece down to get this to fit in between this. So get that all the way down as best as you can. Let's see, let's get that around. There we go. You want that to go in between there. And I want to say that that's actually not fully compressed. Is that? Let's see. Oh no, that was right. Okay, so get that as far down as you can and get that piece down like that. This is going to flop all over the place. We'll play with that here later on. Mostly it's going to be like around like that. This piece right here, we're going to, did I rotate that around? Oh, that popped off. Don't twist that too terribly hard. There we go. So there we go. That's going to be along that backside like that. This whole thing is going to flop all over. So again, just do with it as you want. So just flop that there. Come around here to this side. We're going to lift this up. And again, rotate that. Fold that forward. This whole piece, tuck that around. And then bring this around. Bring the back wing around like that. Kind of fold it there. And then rotate this on that ratchet joint and pull the entire assembly for his arm out to get that all the way up there. And then again, push this little piece down, that little springy section, push that down so that you can fit that just like that. And you can see pretty much how they're supposed to be. It's going to be tricky, but you know, take your time. We'll get there together. Let's take this piece here, fold this section down, and then pull this whole assembly forward. Take these little pieces, tuck these in. Then you can take this, tuck that there, fold this back. You're going to be able to then slide this all the way. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Come around here to the back first and attach all of this. Pull this from the side, pull that from the side, and you can extend that piece out like that. Fold that around, and then you'll be able to where that's going to end up coming together. But leave that like that. Fold the head back. There you go. Just like that. Fold that entire section back and around just like so. Take these little bits. We're going to slide these up. Lock those along the side. Right there. Then this is going to hinge up. Keep that back. That's going to hinge. And you can see where basically everything is going to line up right here. And then you're going to put all that down. So you're kind of seeing it. Come back around here to this. This entire assembly, it's going to detach. And then it's going to go like that. Bring that back up. Now, this gets a little bit, again, fairly fiddly. You want to get this situated. Let's see, it's a little bit easier if you kind of put that there so you kind of know where everything is going. So then take these, it's on that hinge, shift that forward on both sides. I did not have this wing. Oh no, yeah, get that just kind of out of the way. Now these hands, again, this is the thing that I don't like going this way is that nothing really tabs in for his hands. So you want to take the hands, you want to open these up and bend him at that weird joint, collapsing these down pretty much like you did for the weapon configuration. So, you know, all right, let's come down here to these legs. Let's get these kind of going because I'm screwing up a lot up there. So let's pull this entire section out like that. We're going to then take this, rotate that all the way around. That's going to come in, and you can see a little tab here that's going to tab onto the underside of the foot. It's tricky to get, though. Usually, the easiest way to do it is kind of just fit it in there and then push it down. There we go. Fold these little bits up, fold that down like that. All right, let's do that on this side. And then the leg thing is going to get twisted around and all that fun stuff. So we'll worry about that here shortly as well. Pull that all out, dislodge everything there, rotate this all the way around, and then collapse it back down. Get that tab lined up, and then kind of shift it. There we go. Come on. All right, get that. Oh, no, almost. It's like you go on an angle with it. There we go. And then push that in, tuck that. There we go. Straighten that out. And then all of this is going to fold around up and in like that. So you can rotate all of this around. And we're going to then dislodge that, hinge that down. It's on that double joint right there. So dislodge that, hinge that down. I don't like that. Be careful of that little floppy piece. Come on, there you go. All the way there. And then rotate that. And then this is all going to tab together. It's a little bit easier to tab it together once you have it lined up properly. So there we go. There we are. So that's going to be nice and neat. That's going to come around. Now, let's get back to these arms because this is annoying. All right, so hold this piece down and then, again, kind of keep that there. And that there. And then that's going to just fit right there. Like I said, it doesn't actually tab in, which is annoying. So let's get this oriented right. I'm going to rotate the hand around there. Collapse that. Collapse the thumb. And that's basically going to be where you need all of this. That's rotated around. So it literally is going to just sit right there. I mean, I don't think it really matters which way you do that. I mean, it might, but I don't really think it matters all that much. So that's going to sit here. Make sure that these little pieces stay out to the side. So that's how that's going to go there. Yeah, it's a lot of annoying stuff. Okay, and then you're going to take this and we're going to flop this up and around, and it's sort of coming together. So this piece came out, so let's get that back down there. Okay, now let's come around here to this side. Now once you have that kind of lined up there, you don't necessarily have to have that all the way down. It just helps to kind of keep things in position. And then you're going to want to make sure that everything gets pushed in here. So like this, shift all that in. There we go. So that's nice and flush inside there. These little bits, let's see, yeah, there we go. This is going to tab down on the back section. It might pop up, but we can fix that later on, but it'll just kind of stabilize things where you want it to stay. So let's get that in there. There we go. So keep that flat, keep that all like that. So far looking semi-decent. Okay, so now we're going to bring this piece down, keep that there, and then tuck that down just like that. Get these up and out of the way. And then everything should just kind of collapse down. And shift these down. Now filling in that little area. There we go. You can see it's coming together. It's coming together. Get these, move those out of the way. Okay, now this part right here, this is where you want to connect this little tab section on the side here. So push that all the way down and lock that in. This here, now you can bring this and you can kind of sandwich these legs together and then bring it all in so that now this is locked in right up along that side, except I didn't do that part right. Keep the toe down. There we go. So again, sandwich that and lock it in right up here. It's tricky. Give that everything a good little squeeze. Make sure that stays there. Again, kind of get that up and out of the way. So now you have this little piece right here. You want to push all the way down. And that little piece is going to lip over the middle section. So do that on this side as well. You can kind of see how there's like little tabs right there. Just kind of lift this up and shift that in as best as you can. There we go. Just like that. Everything else is staying good and tight. You can rotate these around. This is where you can kind of like play with all this junk. Let's see. There we go. Something like that. Well, no, that's not right. That's got to rotate, I feel. Yeah, well, I don't think I have that prepper. So I'll worry about that in a minute. So keep all that there. This piece is going to come down. Oh, extend that piece out. That dislodge that, which happens sometimes. This piece, just shift. Now see, it is a pain in my ass occasionally. Yeah, I said ass. So bring that down. That's going to lock in right along that side like that. Bring this down. That will lock down along that side. There we are. Squeeze in everything. Bring this. That locks that. That will lock that. And yeah, probably dislodge things. So just shift that up. Push that down. Keep these all nice and lined up. Come around here to the bottom. This right here, you want to take this little slot section here, and that's going to post in there. This right here, post that inside there. And then this proper. Oh, no, that's because I don't have that all the way where it's supposed to be. So that, there we go. Maybe that's why it was not lining up right. There we go. Come on. So that needs to go right over there. No. That piece popped out. There we go. Keep that in there. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. And that's slotted down. Brilliant. Lock that. Literally, it's just fiddling with this. You know where everything is supposed to go. So just fiddle with it till you get it there. And that is... There we go. Finally. Now... we have Starscream. I mean, some of the panels. There we go. Now we have them back in his jet mode. Overall, though, a damn good toy. If you have the space, this is absolutely the version of movie Starscream that I would recommend. Vehicle mode-wise, he's a little bit lackluster. I mean, like the top, I like. I think that's pretty good. That gets ugly, though, if you ask me, and I'm still having panels pop out. The transformation, as you can see, is definitely a pain in the giant butt to do, but it's doable. You just gotta have some patience. Luckily, the only parts that I really felt got stressed when I was doing it were these back wings. But as you can see, those are on just little friction tabs, and they pop off fairly easily, which is good. It prevents it from breaking. But that robot mode is absolutely beautiful. If you're a fan of the movie aesthetic and you're collecting these masterpiece figures, this is definitely one I would pick up. Like I said, that robot mode just is gorgeous. And for the most part, let's be honest, most people are going to have them displayed as a robot anyhow. just when I'm reviewing Transformers, I always base things on the alt mode, the transformation, and the robot mode. Robot mode is fantastic. Transformation, it's not hard, but it is fiddly. And I think that the jet mode is decent, but is definitely the weakest aspect of it. So definitely would recommend picking them up. Or if you're watching this video and you made it all the way to this point, now's the fun part. I'm going to give this figure away. There's just 3 rules. Number 1, be subscribed to my channel. Number 2, hit that like button. And number 3, leave a comment in the comment section. When this video hits 1,000 likes, which I feel for something like this should be easy to do, I will pick one person in the comment section and we'll send this figure to him for free. So again, just be subscribed, like the video, and leave a comment. When all that happens, and we get that 1,000th like, I'm going to pick a winner. Or if you don't want to wait, you can buy yours. These new movie masterpiece figures, I believe, are exclusively available at Target stores. This is where I found mine. And it retails for $150, which I think is a fair price. The engineering, the size, all of it, I think it's worth it. So if you're looking for them, good luck and happy hunting. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video and if you want to be entered in that giveaway, hit that thumbs up button. That one very small gesture really does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really very much appreciate it. Also, I want to send a huge shout out to all of my patrons who, through their continued support, now more than ever help to make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a patron, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/Optibotimus. A contribution of as little as $1 a month really can go a long way. And finally, remember that the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.